Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here of Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. How you doing out there? Welcome to episode 218. Thank you for joining us tonight. Brian, how you doing?
Well, Chambers, I am,
No one cares.
son of a fuck. I'm back on my kick of beer, and I'm happy to be here with that. It's been, I don't even know the last time I've had a beer, because the last time we did this, I did my mead. But, going light here, Chambers, but a local brew, and I'm curious if it's one you've ever had. I'm starting off with the Free Will Brewing Company's Medieval Wit. So, once again, awesome can work. It's got, like, the skeletal hand done in the stained glass style. And anyone who knows who's had the wit beers, also usually referred to as wheat beers. It's a Belgian-style white ale with orange peel and coriander. Comes in at 5.1%, and Free Will, which is brewed right out of our local Percy. When Jim and I have been there many a time and have had many of their brews.
Yep.
But you don't know if you've had this one, it looks like.
I might have, whenever I've been to Free Will, I've always just, tried a bunch of stuff in there, so I don't know, judging by, and it's been a long time, too. So I could have had it. If it's relatively new, then I probably haven't had it, but if it's older, then I might have had it before.
Yeah, I think it's one of their older recipes. Obviously, the can design is new, but this style right here is my de facto, if I think of a summer style I like the most. I tend to go with the German styles like Hefeweizens and whatnot, but a Belgian white, it just has that nice orange, but enough flavor, and the coriander, which, I'll be honest, I've had a gazillion beers. I still don't really know what coriander tastes like. I know it's the shit that grows out the top of cilantro when it flowers.
Yeah, stupid.
But I don't know anything about it as far as the flavor profile. So I do, maybe it's kind of that peppery flavor I get, but I love a Belgian white. They go down super smooth, very hazy, but no, almost barely any lacing that actually lasts.
Yeah.
And no sediment, which is always a plus. So yeah, here.
Nice. And I am drinking from the Other Half Brewery. It is the Pennsylvania Daybreak Double Dry Hopped IPA. Imperial IPA at that. And this is a hazy bastard. It basically looks like orange juice.
Yeah, it actually does.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of lacing at the top, so it does stick around to the top of the glass. Aroma, well, you got that citrusy in there, so it's definitely on the hazy end. And let's see here, 8% alcohol. Ooh boy. Ooh. Oh, Brian. Lucky day.
Fuck.
Me. Right.
Get those cummies out your throat. Go ahead.
Well, we did just talk about a beautiful crusty corner of a segment, so we'll be getting to that. But Brian, just like daybreak follows night, this collaboration with our friends at New Trail Brewing follows up on our previous collab with them, Pennsylvania Nights. Notes of dank strawberry, tropical fruit, orange, lychee, and lemon lime. Lychee? How the hell do you say that?
Lychee.
Lychee? Okay, whatever it is.
Jim, can I say I understand the term dank. I don't like now how often it's being used as an adjective for flavors.
Right, dank strawberry.
I don't like it. That's not that. Dank describes an entire thing. You don't just put it to strawberry or one fruit. You just don't do that. I don't like it, Jim. I don't like it.
They do it. Maybe your other half would like it more. Like the name of the brewery.
Maybe if they had the first half.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care enough to keep the bit going.
Jim, keep the bit going.
No, tapping out. Fuck you.
Jim.
I just want more of my crab cake.
God damn it. Jim, all right, you spoke about orange juice. I do have a question now.
Yeah.
Are you...
Have I ever done a beer mosa? I don't think so.
That was not the goddamn question, and I hate that that's a thing as well. Are you normal and do no pulp, or are you one of those assholes that do pulp?
No, fuck pulp. I don't. You have to be I'm a black coffee kind of guy. That's psychopath enough as is, but I am not a pulp in my orange juice guy. Why do you want it to crunch? Why do you want stringies everywhere?
I was going to say, I don't think there's really a crunch versus just stringies as you're putting them. Yeah,
From the dollar store, you'll have some crunch.
What? Why would you ever buy orange juice from the dollar store, Jim?
Desperate times, Brian.
Oh, fuck.
Sometimes you need your sugars back in you after a long night of drinking.
Listen, what I'll say is, if you're someone who makes the shit at home and there's some leftover, fine. But if you buy that shit, especially the ones with like extra pulp or whatever, no. Nope, there's something wrong with you. I'm just calling it. That's all I'm saying, Jim.
Yeah, who's ever like taking a sip and being like, oh, that's good?
Psychos, Jim. Like you. That's why I asked the question.
Hey, even I'm not that bad. Yet.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
But Chambers, speaking of being that bad, how's your Tetris gameplay going?
What Tetris? I haven't touched a fucking video game all week. Haven't even unlocked the home screen on my Switch. Haven't done dick.
Nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
Still busy with the house?
Sure goddamn am.
How's the game room coming along, Jim?
It's gonna be the last goddamn thing. Which is fun because it's the room that's not being touched. But Bri, I did. You know what, Bri? You're gonna hear a phrase that I never thought I'd ever say.
Uh-oh.
I feel bad for people in California. Because I made the mistake of, I had to buy a lawnmower, and we were checking out deals, Home Depot, and I was like, all right, they had a big sale, like $300 off this electric lawnmower. Had 13,000 reviews, 4.5 stars. I was like, I mean, I know you can buy reviews, but there can't be this many bought reviews. Front of the box likes to sit there and say, 2 batteries will give you 45 minutes. They gave me 4 batteries. Says you can get a third of an acre done. That's what I have. Right. Fully charged. Dead. 15 minutes. Put in the other pack.
15 minutes?
Dead. 15 minutes. I couldn't even do like half of my goddamn lawn with this fucking thing. So
my only guess would be you have your setting too low, and it, like, if you cause it to overwork, it probably overheats way too fast.
Well, it oversucks my dick because that thing's goddamn taken right back.
So did you upgrade to gas, I assume?
Yeah, what do you call it? A buddy of mine doesn't use his anymore. He pays, some people who might or might not be here, under the correct pretenses. So he doesn't really use his anymore.
What are you trying to say, Jim? Canadians?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Immigrants. I knew it was
Damn
them. Even when it was the Bears, I knew it was them.
God damn it, Jim.
But yeah, no, I mean, he gave me this Toro, and I was just fucking tearing ass. So, yeah. I feel bad for those Californian fucks who are mandated to have only electric shit now. That is a goddamn nightmare.
Is that really a mandate?
Yeah, they're not allowed to have any, even the, professional contractors, they have to use, professional-grade electric shit.
It seems like a really weird one. Like, I don't know how you would upkeep it. Versus, I could see them saying to manufacturers, you can't sell them anymore, but, the second-hand gas market has to exist to some degree.
Look, Bri, like everything else in this world, I'm very uninformed on the subject. I just see a headline and just go with it. So
I respect it.
In my world, that's the truth that I choose to live with, Brian.
Well, Chambers, in my world, I have gotten back to gaming. Actually, as of yesterday, I finally had some time to myself. I said to the wife, I said, all right, I'm going to need about a couple hours because I need to dive back into Body Harvest. Set aside everything, have the kids do something else, and boy, oh boy, that fucking game. I am now... So I had to restart the game, from level 1 again, because I kept getting to a point and getting these bullshit deaths where I was like, I'm just going to restart. There's a very easy cheat menu with that game, just so it can let me get to the parts I want to, and then I can play it regular, but there's no level skip mode. There's still no way to really save except for the processors, and I know I'm getting into the weeds that we'll cover in the review.
Yeah.
But even with the cheat, because one of the things I do is it's called a smart bomb, so every time the aliens pop up, I just put it in, kills them, so I can just keep moving. I still have died or gotten stuck, even with this. So I'm in Java, the second stage. I'm at the 4th processor. I was an hour into that 4th part of the stage, flying on a plane. I land it, and the mapping of those fucking maps, I'm on a fucking volcano. this plane slides down one side, I slide down the other. I can't go back up, and I die. And there's no saving, and I was right before the processor. It was, and that's the second time that's happened. So that game destroys souls, and I'm gonna go through it. My goal is to be.
Have you been a drowning victim of trying to get back into a boat, and it just
absolutely?
You God forbid you're not on that right pixel to hit the button to get back in the boat.
Drowning, like I said, caught in volcano fire. My plane hit the invisible barrier of the edge, even though it is colored. A few times I've hit it, nothing happened. I skimmed it this time. The plane blew up. God damn it! I just don't like. There's so much about this game that like, and I decided let me watch people who really love this game. And you know what? They all say the same thing. It's a game that had great potential, and it did things. It's funny none of them talk about how great the gameplay is, Jim, or how great the control is, or anything else about the game.
Yeah.
It's all about, well, I feel bad for this game. It could have been better. Doesn't mean it's a good goddamn game. So yeah, we'll be covering all this and more in the review. My goal is to be done with it. Whether I beat it or not is going to determine whether I split this fucking game in half. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
it's my property. I need it for my shield.
I'll give you the $10 for it, Jim. But yeah, that's gonna be my kind of go-to. And I did do a little bit of DVD here and there, but outside of that, I'm just happy to be playing. Well, I'm happy I have time to play games. I can't say I'm happy to be playing the game I'm particularly playing. so yeah, but that rounds it out. But we are doing it because we had it as a request, which we always appreciate from you awesome patrons. So once again, Jim and I's obviously personal life has just really fucked us, I feel like, the first half of this year. So we're trying to get caught up with it all. But Chambers, speaking of our patrons, what questions we got this week?
Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get the bonus segments of this podcast, where this week I reviewed Divine Ceiling on the Mega Drive. A classic, somewhat infamous game for the title. Got booby.
And Chambers, you gave it a pretty high crust meter.
Yep, there's the review, and then there's the crust meter. So, a lot of potential in one. What about the other? The dollar will let you know.
Jim had a stinky belly button for this one. So what questions we got?
I mean, it's always kind of stinky. Let's be honest here. First up, from Michael Soto. This is actually a holdover from last week because it got in late. Are you Are you guys going to try the new AEW game? It definitely has that old school No Mercy feel and the added benefit of customizable controls. Also thumbtacks. Gotta love slamming people on thumbtacks.
Chambers, I mean, let's start with you. You're the one that, between the two of us, watches any type of AEW, and I feel like you kind of like the roster, right?
Yeah, I like some of them. I'm like half and half on the roster.
I mean, I know you're not going to ever pay full price, but let's say this game's on a decent deal. Do you think you're going to go out of your way to play it?
Actually, Bri, funny enough, I just won a Twitter giveaway for a code. So,
oh shit!
Once I can set my Xbox back up, I'm going to use the code and give it a go. Because
nice.
from what I'm hearing from everybody, it definitely plays like No Mercy. It has that feel. It's just ridiculously light on content. Like, the single-player mode, there's barely anything there. The creator wrestler is very, it's not like a WWE game. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So, but everyone's just basically going, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but, so, it definitely doesn't seem like it's worth the full price at this point, but it seems like it's something that I would have wanted to play eventually anyway, but now I can. Hooray!
Is it one of these deals where you're saying it's light on content, similar to other wrestling games, that's like, no knock on AEW, but the roster is ultimately light, and maybe if they had some padding of some other wrestling legends, it might have helped it out a lot?
Well, I mean, maybe, but the people who are really hardcore in AEW don't really care about the legends.
But, like, I mean, if you want to sell anything at the end of the day, to get any casuals, if you're not in AEW, and not saying they care about that, but how many people are in that game? Maybe 40?
I forget how big the roster is, to be honest with you.
It's not huge. I remember looking at it. I'm like, oh, it's, and I could be wrong with the numbers.
40's probably about right. And I know they're already planning on packs and shit like that for more content for different wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, here's a question, Chambers. We've seen this now done a few times. Some games, like the Streets of Rage 4, TMNT Shredder's Revenge, like the kind of return to form of a game style we love, can be done really well. Is No Mercy one of those games where it's like, it's just so fun for the nostalgic folks like you and me, where we might like it and then the gimmick might wear out and there's a reason why it was great in the past and never really continued? Like, do you think newcomers to that style are going to appreciate it like people who grew up with No Mercy?
That's a good question, because I feel like the AEW fans out there, like if they like AEW, they love AEW. So they'll look through a lot of flaws and just to say they like it because they're very brand loyal.
Sure.
But I think there is a place for like a simpler kind of wrestling game, like with, simpler button inputs, directional based, more arcadey, more fun, because like everything doesn't need to be a simulation like WWE 2K. So like I think there's definitely a spot for just like, just straight into the action kind of deal.
Yeah,
less of a learning curve. You can play as the, your favorite wrestlers. Right, you can be Orange Cassidy. Finally. I know you've been dreaming of this day.
I hate him so, like, of everyone in AEW, I hate him so much. I hate that gimmick. It's like that one promotion, I don't know if it is AEW, where it's the guy who makes pizzas and fucking throws it up in the air. He's like,
he's just a guy who like travels around the indies, though he did show up on AEW one time.
You're not going to tell me the two aren't basically the same. And like, I'm sorry, fucking LA Knight is the worst knockoff of Rock and
He's
Austin.
in WWE though.
Yeah. Well, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hate him too. He's
Why
another
do you hate
guy
LA Knight? LA Knight's great.
because he's so fucking corny. He's just trying to be a low rent Rock. That's it. He cuts promos trying to be like him. It's corny. Come up with something else. So, AEW, I would actually, like, if it becomes free, I think I would like to try just because but once again, I don't know the roster, like, almost at all. So it would be very much like when I got WWE 2K13. And other than, like, the legends I knew, I was introduced to a lot of folks. Part of the reason why I like Dolph Ziggler so much is because of that game. I didn't know who he was, and I was like, he has an awesome moveset.
You're gonna know
watching him.
You're gonna know Jericho, Punk, Danielson, Cody Rhodes, and that's like it. I'm actually surprised you know who Orange Cassidy is.
I know him. I mean, let's put it this way. I know the Danhausen.
Oh, Danhausen? Is he in that game? I hope he is.
Yeah, he is. I know him because he was on that last drive-in as a guest one time.
He's big on Twitter, too, so yeah.
And I know the guy who I think's overrated. What's his name? Kenny Omega or something?
Yeah. He's one of the guys who runs the company.
Yeah. So, here's the deal. If it's a fun game, a fun game's a fun game, right? So...
Yeah.
All right, Chambers. So what's the next question?
All right, from Leo. In honor of the Polygon Hottest Animal article, what is the hottest video game character?
Ooh. Now, see, this is one I can get behind, Chambers.
Literally, metaphorically?
I mean...
What guy you picking, Brian?
I would go... Well, let's be safe like we were last time. We got to be careful. See, I'm going to go very simple. Just because, do you go Lara Croft? Do you go Jill? Do you go... Well, no, you probably got to go something more extreme, right? So...
Right, just pick Rouge to bat. We know it's what you're going with.
Who?
Rouge.
Rouge.
From Sonic. The Batgirl with the big tits.
Oh, God damn it, Jim. Damn it.
What? He's with the animal theme.
Then why wouldn't I just go Lady D at that point?
Good.
I could. Yeah.
Even though I think her blonde helper is hotter.
No, I would go with the blonde from Tekken, Nina.
Oh,
Nina
yeah,
Williams.
that's a good one.
Probably go with her, Cammy. Or is it Cammy or Tammy from Street Fighter?
Cammy.
Yeah, go with one of them.
That wind pose, that was a whoo. that was a thingy for young Jimmy. Oh boy. I was like, that's
Yeah,
a butt right there.
I mean, shit. Like, I think about back to fighting games. Sonya Blade is always obviously, she's up there, but she's always been fairly tame. But yeah, I would probably go with one of those two. How about you, Chambers?
Right.
Who's
You didn't
one
want,
that's
like,
stuck in?
You didn't want like Mortal Kombat 9 Melina, who's basically wrapped in bandages?
Here's the deal. Hey, she keeps that mask on. I'm not saying it's a go, but it's a go.
Even with the mask off, I'm like, you know what? I can look past things.
Damn it, Jim. But what if she bites it off?
Well,
It's a new way to make it disappear.
God.
I'm trying, like, all right.
I was always really big on Resident Evil 3, Jill. Like, that's my favorite, like,
Yeah.
outfit, like the hairstyle, which is like the hairstyle I love in real life anyway. Like, just all of it together, I was like,
No, you know who sells me from Jill is RE5 when she's in the purple suit.
oh yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right, so let's do this.
So
real
nice
quick.
they did it twice. Brought it back for Revelations.
That's a good one too. Let me ask you this. All right, let's stick to 4 franchises. So favorite from Resident Evil? Are we both saying Jill, or are
Yeah,
we
Jill.
throwing? Okay. And don't get me wrong, 8 is good too. Claire,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care about, to be honest. All right.
No
Street
Rebecca
Fight-
Bry? No little waif?
No. Street Fighter. Are you going Cammy like me?
Yeah, it's gotta be Cammy. You get that ass right there.
Mortal
gotta be
Kombat. Are we going? Let me think. Who is there? Sonya, Katana, Jade, all them. Melina.
Probably not gonna do Metatron, whatever the fuck her name was from 11.
Metatron. Oh, the bug woman?
No, the
Oh,
bald bitch.
the one that looks like the
One at the end.
No. Yeah, I'd probably go. Ooh, Cassie could maybe.
Contender.
Yeah, she's not bad.
No Shiva?
God damn it! I don't got 4 dicks, Jim. I only need right. I don't need 4 arms.
Sounds like quitter talk, Brian. Right, 3 strangers.
Damn it! And then Tekken. Are you going the Nina, or are you doing her sister? What's her sister's
Ooh,
name? Is it
Anna.
Yeah.
Ooh, I might be going Anna.
I don't love the short hair, Jim. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a fan of the short hair. Just like Resident Evil 3 Jill. It's the same hairstyle, basically.
Jill
Or
had
Unknown.
hair?
Unknown's not bad either from Tekken Tag. The boss with the wolf spirit behind her.
Ooh, I don't know her as well. I never, you know what? Other than Tekken Tag 2 or 3, I never played Tekken Tag. So
There's never a 3, so we might have played 2.
yeah, that's one that passed me by. I only stuck to the regular numbers. But no, I'm Nina all the way for that. See,
Yeah, good
I
pick.
like a question like that, Jim. Not animals I want to fuck.
I mean, if you want to be boring, Brian, then you can like questions like that. That's fine.
Damn it, Jim.
Next up from Burn Retinas. Kind of stolen from a post I saw on Twitter, but what's a game you find incredibly average, but find yourself playing or have played more than you thought? Easy for me, Fighting Force. Especially when we went back and reviewed it. I was like, man, this game's a lot more mid than I remembered, but I played the absolute dog shit out of it back in the day.
I do love that game. Average game. Because I don't want to use that as the answer.
You gotta have some like horror game that you know is like kind of nothing, but you still played the hell out of it.
I do, but you know what? I'll go a little more controversial. Not super controversial, but I'll say the Final Fight games. I played the hell. I mean, I enjoyed them. I don't think they're amazing, but I used to play the ever-loving shit out of them, especially back in the day. I think it's just because I had it.
You even kind of like Streetwise. That's one of the few games I ever returned.
I mean, for that couple minutes we played it, I didn't think it was bad as you.
I
I
fucking
think
hated
you
it.
gave like 2 hours tops, and then we went back the same day. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. I was like, this is utter dog shit.
I think it was just because you sucked at it. I didn't mind it because I was pretty good at it. But no, I feel like Final Fight is one of those games. It's like just fine. And when the conversation comes up, maybe I don't know them as well as I do. I feel like I feel like there's so many better choices for beat 'em ups that whenever it gets thrown in top 10, if it's not just for historical importance, that's one I always kind of go, it's okay. So yeah, that's one I kind of feel like is kind of mid tier.
That's fair. I can go with that. Next up from Jimmy Mook. What are some of your favorite sequels in video game series? Preferably ones that are in a numbered series.
Easy for me is Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I mean, shit, Star Fox 64 isn't a numbered series, really. Like Mario Kart 64, Streets of Rage 2.
Streets of Rage 2, yep.
Star Fox 2.
Would you say, I still
StarCraft
haven't
2.
played it, but everyone says Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, they're both great.
Would you say CODs? I mean, they're not numbered, but...
They're not numbered.
Yeah, but I mean...
The original Black Ops was my favorite, but...
Black Ops 2 was really good.
Black Ops 2 is very good. Black Ops 3 was pretty good, even though that's when we're, like, you know, very much waning off.
Yeah. I think it's a fair question. You and I asked this before. I mean, like, Super
even
Mario
going back
3.
to fucking Tekken, you say, like, Tekken 3. Or...
Tekken 3, Super Mario 3, arguably best in the series. Legend of Zelda is not, except for the second one, they're not really numbered. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because just like movies, I think there's a strong case that there are a lot of sequels that way surpass game. Like, I think in gaming, sequels commonly surpass the original.
Yeah, because you learn from the mistakes of the original, you build upon it, you improve upon it. Sometimes you can save a franchise with a sequel. Sometimes you can kill a franchise with a sequel, but...
Why do you think that's not the same case with movies? Why is it so much more lightning in a bottle?
I think with movies, not to say that you have to be more creative with them, but like I think it's easier to make, like, it always seems like something that's like new and big and crazy for a movie just like came out of nowhere. And it, well, that is what lightning in a bottle is. But like, you know, if you're trying to recreate that magic of the first one, a lot of the times it's like impossible to do.
Yeah, no, that's true. No.
Whereas with the game, like, you can improve mechanics and graphics and shit like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think there's lots of great ones. Obviously, of course, I'll go that horror route, but shit, Street Fighter 2, MK2.
Yeah.
You know, those. So yeah, I think there's tons of examples of that one. But for me, my favorite, probably still, I would put Resident Evil 2, because like I said, the hype I had after discovering Resident Evil 1 and playing that demo and all these different endings, like I couldn't believe how much it opened up the world of Resident Evil back when I was a kid. So
yeah, solid answer. There's a fuckload to pick from. Last up from Alex Perez. What are some of your favorite co-op retro games? Also, why do you suck so much at Tetris 99, Jim? We don't have to answer that part.
Jim, answer the question.
I can't perform under pressure.
Maybe you just need to be sitting on a cake.
Maybe I do. Maybe I do.
Best retro. I don't want to give this simple answer of Streets of Rage 2, but like
every time. I think I've used that for like 4 of these questions this week.
I know. Well, let's put it this way. So
Contra's up there.
Contra's definitely up there. You know, a game I do love to play, but we still haven't beaten it, I feel most people don't, is Zombie Ate My Neighbors. I love to play that, but never gonna beat it sitting there as a couch co-op.
So goddamn hard. And then you gotta like strategize who picks up what.
Yeah, I do love that game as a couch co-op.
I think Gunstar Heroes would be fun co-op, but I've never played a co-op.
Yeah, I'm trying to just think of ones we've actually done. Because you could do any...
Like Turtles in Time, that's a classic. But
yeah. Any of the arcades, the Simpsons arcades, the X-Men arcades, they're all fun.
Those are ones that are definitely better with people because they are boring as dick by yourself.
Yeah, 1000%. Army of Two.
Army of Two, you know what? I think that should be our answer because that is an like, one, the series is dead. And two, like, that's just one no one goes back to talk about. But that was such a goddamn fun co-op time.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one. If you try to do the single player, it's miserable. It's not that fun. Like, not that it plays bad.
Yeah.
But the fun comes in when you play with someone else.
Yeah, it's definitely way more fun with someone else. Dude, that was like one of those ones I played when I was still in my game hunting or achievement hunting phase.
Yep.
So like I went back and I played it again on fucking professional by myself. Oh my god.
Oh, you know what? But my answer, and I usually do this when we talk
Left
co-op.
4 Dead? You're doing Left 4 Dead, aren't you?
Can you argue that there's a more fun co-op we've had when we're all together, especially because you're all usually on the same team and you're zombies and you fuck up as the tank and we gotta save your ass. Jim's never gonna pick that because he fucks up.
I don't want to be the tank. Don't make me the tank.
Matt,
Fuck it up.
Matt, don't hit the witch. Don't hit the witch. Dude, shotgun.
Dude. Yeah,
You know
Left 4 Dead. It's like, is that generation like the last good one for co-op?
It is. Couch co-op especially. Like that 360 sealed that tomb. It like had so many great games. Like still had some Halos that people were still doing. It had Call of Duties, Left 4 Dead's, Army of Two. There were so many games. Like there was that one weird prison game where you had to play. Like they made so many games meant to be couch co-op. Gears of War. That's a great series to play. But slowly, it was just like, just play it, you know, virtually. And nowadays, the idea of like telling someone, let's do couch co-op games. Like, why? I get to sit in my room and we can play virtually. I think that's the last gen that we're gonna see it for sure.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of something.
Yeah. No, I love that question though. Good one.
Yep, and that wraps up the Patreon questions for this week. So once again, thank you to everyone for all the support out there. Make sure to head over to Patreon, get those, sign up for it, get those tiers, check out the rewards. We have bonus episodes, bonus podcasts, bonus segments, game review requests, movie review requests, and just random other stuff we throw up there. So definitely check it out. And speaking of checking it out, we are on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. Make sure to head on over to any one of them. Give us subs, give us reviews. It helps out the page. Thank God we didn't care about keeping up with Stitcher because Spotify is buying everything. It doesn't matter anymore. Just do one of those three.
Thank you guys. We truly, truly appreciate it. Now, Chambers, you got an article here that is relevant to us and in something that I'm actually kind of excited about.
I am too. This hits close to home, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do this.
From the Philadelphia Inquirer, Philly's only surviving Revolutionary Era dive bar will soon be opening its doors again. Now, Chambers, what's the name of this place?
Right, it is called A Man Full of Trouble.
And it used to be, back in the days, when there was only about 101 taverns, and there's about one bar for every 160 citizens.
I was going to say, it isn't only 101 taverns. There were 101 taverns and a city limit that was much smaller than it is now. And Philly's not a big city, like, size-wise, but back then, like, it was a fraction of what it is now. And they had 100 fucking taverns.
So, like, you know, Philly, like any city, especially East Coast, drinking taverns, huge thing. And if you ever do get to visit Philly, I will say there is walkable, very good areas. And you do get a lot of these really classical redstones like this building is. And I love this because there are other buildings that have survived from the Revolutionary times. So I love that there's a random-ass dive bar. And the story that's out, we're not going to outline the entire thing, but basically this place has been shut down for decades. And then a guy...
almost like 100 years.
Yeah, it's like crazy how long it's been shut down. But basically this guy, Dan Wheeler, who's like been watching on this forever, finally got a call that they were going to be selling it. And he jumped at the chance to buy it. And did you see how much he spent for it, Chambers?
I did read it, but it's been a while. What was it? $875,000, right?
Yeah. So not cheap. Now, granted, given its area in Philly, that is I'm not going to call it hoity-toity, but like you definitely know people are going to be willing to spend money. It's a historic building. There's lots of reasons.
Well, it's like, the building was established in 1759.
Yeah.
And like this was a dive bar back then. Like this is where like the low class people went to like get their drinks after working on the docks or in factories and shit like that.
Yeah.
And like given the location, like anyone who like reads the article outside of Philly, you're not going to grasp just how much of a miracle it is that this building is still here.
It's
like it is surrounded by new construction. It's kind of the only building on its side of the road, and through like a random happenstance of like just being there and shut down and then having a private owner, and then for a while it was like it's been owned by the University of Penn for like a long ass time and was like kind of a museum, but then even then they just like stopped using it for a little while. It was like almost like a hotel, like almost like an Airbnb for like guests of like speakers that they would have at Penn. Like all these weird circumstances that just kept this old ass building there.
And I'm a sucker. Jim and I have said we're both suckers for history. I love it. And, you know, they have some cool photos. Like they have the replica of like a colonial aged caged bar, which basically the bar.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that they have it, the cage bar. Just enough that they can close it for the ruffians back in the day. And to keep them out of the fucking booze. It's so cool.
So I can't wait to see this being done, opened. I definitely am going to have to be visiting that. And it's funny because the guy even says, he's like, this isn't a place that you're going to take your date. Like, this was a dive bar by all means. So it's really like you just go there, you get some cheap beers, and that's it. So I'm curious how much they actually try to keep historic, or at least I know they can match with historic materials. But I love it. Like, do you think they're going to go all out, though, and theme all the beers? Or is it just going to be, like, probably all local yards and whatnot beers?
I think the article said they're teaming up with, like, a microbrewery. So, like, it's not going to be, like, I want it to be, like, I want to serve all the old, I want it to be Yingling and Natty Boh and, like, bring back Ortlieb's. Like, just bring back the old shitty beer of old Philadelphia. That's what I want. But it's not what we're going to get.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be some level, but yeah, I think you'll still see your fancy ones. You know, Jim, here's my fear. We've said it how many times. We can never have nice things. Please, if you're going to go there, don't fuck this place up. It's the only thing I don't want to happen.
Well, apparently it's only going to have like very limited hours for the bar. Like, it's not going to be a place that's going to be open late at night and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, like, they're very much going to, like, keep it as only a couple hours a day, like, you know, pour it out for parties and private events, stuff like that, which is probably smart. You don't want, like, the random folk coming in there and fucking up a 300-year-old building. So, I get it.
But you know what makes me the happiest about this is that this is a guy, it's something he just always loved, really wanted to do. This is, in essence, this is us. This is a nerd who's obsessed with something. It's like he's getting to do that dream. So I love that. And like I said, I'm being a history nerd. I like that as well. So I can't wait to see this. You know, we got to go there. If we do, we definitely got to do a little vlog or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I want to go to this. We have to do it.
Yeah. So, you know what? It's a little bit of good news coming out of Philly for once, Chambers.
For once. God knows we need it. God knows no one wants to move here and make selling a house in Philly a real pain in the dick.
Now, Chambers, on the other end of the
Not
world,
that I would know.
on the other end of the world where the sun rises first, what's going on with your boy, Yuji Naka?
What? Man of the Stars? Creator of Sonic? Well, Brian, he got sentenced to 2 years in prison and fined 190 million yen in his insider trading scandals.
Jim, how much is 190 million yen?
Brian,
I do know it.
That is $1,346,349.50 as of July 10th, 2023, because it is a very variable scale.
Yeah. So, Chambers, this is one of the times we've been following a story for a while, and we finally have a conclusion. I mean, we've speculated, is he going to get slapped on the wrist? Are they going to make an example of him? Now, here's a question.
Oh, they made an example of him. Oh, boy.
But did they? Here's, like, we talked about this. Prison in Japan is much different than what we think of prison in the United States. Like, especially for a white-collar crime. 2 years, it's not that it's a joke, but is it kind of like I don't know their rules for parole. Like, is he going to really go in there, do 6 months, and then be able to get out on good behavior? Who's to say? But, yeah, I mean, because how much did he actually... What was it? It was basically insider trading, right?
It was insider trading, and I think he only made like 40 grand out of it, or something like that.
That's what I find crazy about.
Or
like,
he only invested 40 grand. Like everyone else around him was doing hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, he didn't do the crazy amount, and it was on. Like, yeah, it was such a random ass thing. So they're definitely like laying down the law on him. I still don't think it's like, oh my god, but they're trying to make an example of him, and Jim, call me crazy. I can't read the picture. That's quote tweeted.
Oh yeah, it's all in Moonspeak. I can't read that shit. But they translated it for us.
Goddamn Moonspeak. But what is the picture, the guys?
Oh, the picture on his phone is from Fist of the North Star.
Okay, because I was like, I don't get this. But do you think there's gonna be lots of Sonic fanboys that actually feel bad about this?
Yes and no. I'm sure they're kind of torn, but they're like, it's been going on for so long now, and Yuji Naki's been kind of a dick forever. That like, I think the Sonic fandom's moved on. They appreciate what he did, but they're like, fuck that guy.
Would
and
this
in Japan,
ever happen?
Brian, he was dishonorable.
Damn it, Jim. Well, here's my question: do you think the same thing happens to a major, call it whatever, a big shot at Nintendo? Like,
Which
if somebody at Nintendo of his level did this, do you think the same reaction is going to be had?
Oh my god! I mean, to be like at his level though, like, there's not a ton of people left in Nintendo at that level. It would have to be like Miyamoto, and like God knows that's not going to happen. Wait, never say never.
I mean, is he basically president of Japan at this point?
I think he has more power. They're not going to Shinzo Abe fucking Miyamoto over there. He's too loved.
Could you imagine? It would be kind of funny though. Yuji Naka goes there, and like the prisoners are like, "Yeah, your game sucks. Mario's better." Like just talking shit to him, like throwing blue shit at him, like. I don't know.
Look at me! I'm wearing a hat. I'm in Bound Wonderland.
So, Jim, can we close the book on this one?
I guess for now, unless there's some kind of Japanese appeal process I don't know about, but it seems pretty cut and dry.
What if he digs his way out like a hedgehog?
Do 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 do.
Could he be the next Japanese Andy Dufresne? You tell me.
He wasn't my friend.
I'd like to tell you he won, but that's not what happened here. Nobody's gonna get that. So,
Everyone's gonna get that. Everyone's seen fucking Shawshank. Everyone in our viewership group has seen Shawshank.
What are you talking about? You mean that 4% female audience, Jim?
No, I'm talking about that 0% 18 to 25 group. That's what I'm talking about.
Chambers. All right,
4% female. What fucking good day was that?
Jim, have hope.
Those poor girls click on a video, then it's one of those ones where I go, look at the tits on this one.
Damn it, Jim.
Why don't they stick around?
Fuck. All right, Chambers. Speaking of not sticking around and some bullshit, there is a random ass collaboration that I don't think anyone, even if you went to a fortune teller, would have been able to see coming, between Atari and Playmaji, who is also the makers of the Polymega. Really interesting article from
Global Newswire.
Yeah. It outlines basically what this strategic collaboration would involve. Obviously, one of the first things they would do is add modules to the Polymega to bring over some of the Atari systems. But it would also, and this is the part I don't get, it's saying it would bring Polymega to the VCS.
VCS, yep.
So what does that mean? That's the part I don't really get.
All right, so do you know what the VCS is?
I thought that wasn't it? It's the console, right?
Yeah, so this is the console Atari released in like 2 years ago, I want to say now. And I think it's like a Linux-based console. And it's all cloud, like it's no physical shit to put in there. All digital, I should say. And it had all these different game services you could put on there. And like people fuck with it and like they kind of think it's cool. And like it has like a whole bunch of Atari games on there.
Sure.
But Yeah, like you could run a lot of different services on there and emulators and shit like that. But like, it was one of those ones that was in like development hell, kind of like the Polymega, where everyone was like, "Oh, this will never come out at this point," and then it just randomly came out. Yeah. Actually, I think like over the past Christmas, they were like liquidating them for like $99, and there was a little while where I was like, "Shit, I might pick up a VCS," and then I went, "I'll never use it," so I didn't. But so adding the Polymega app, like I guess it's kind of cool. They're like all their basically their proprietary emulators you can throw into VCS, and if you have the ROMs, and you can play all these games on there. So I guess that's cool.
Well, we talked about the Polymega. It was earlier this year when they released. Basically, they're like, if you have the Polymega, you get the app for free on your phone and other services. So yeah, they have the app. They have the cloud software. So yeah, it does expand. The weird thing is, though, aren't you kind of creating competing things? Like, so with this collaboration, aren't you going to basically be like, well, do I want to have the VCS and just stream all the shit? Or do I want to have the Polymega and have to buy the extra modules to do Atari shit?
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense for Polymega people because the Polymega is a thing that's never going to be like commercially on store shelves.
Yeah.
Where the VCS kind of was a little bit. Like, it was in some stores and it was in some GameStops and crap like that, so it had a little bit more of like a public reach to it.
Yeah.
It's the VCS is definitely way cheaper, so it's more accessible that way.
I just looked up the price of a VCS.
What are they?
$330 or
what?
$250. Like on on Amazon it's $330, but if you go directly to Atari, it's knocked down to $225 right now.
Damn, I should have bought one when they were $90. Oh well.
Now, granted, I don't know how many different models. This one's just the VCS all-in bundle. So
yeah, there's ones that like come with like a bunch of different controllers. There's ones that just come with like the reproduction of the old school controller, but like, you know, Bluetooth and crap like that.
Yeah, that's what this one comes with, 2 controllers and the old school looking console. So yeah,
I think some of them come with like more preloaded games or services. I forget what the breakdown was.
I did not know it would be that expensive. But it's funny because we were talking, when I saw this article, I was like, let me look up the Polymega. I still can't for the life of me find like actual sales numbers on it. Have you heard anything have you seen anyone who's actually bought this, tried it out? I mean, because at this point they also have modules for PlayStation and N64. So I didn't think they did back when it first came out.
I don't think they did when they first came out. So they must have added that later.
Yeah. So
well, for PlayStation, they always had the disc drive, so they didn't really need a separate module. Yeah.
I mean, here's the deal. I really do like the idea of Polymega. If you're someone who has a huge physical collection, it does make sense. Like, if the emulation works well. And I thought this is one of the ones that did get good reviews as far as how it emulated.
Yeah, like the Polymega is kind of a thing where you never heard anything about it, like, after 2 weeks after it finally got into people's hands. Yeah. And the people who use it seem to like it, but it's a thing that literally no one talks about. Like, because
it's that niche thing that's a little too expensive.
And it came out too late. That's the problem too.
Yeah. But you know, hey, as far as
hopefully that fart did not come through.
Well, now when I listen back, you know I'm going to turn up the volume all the way, so I hope it does.
You better.
But you know, hey, I'm a fan of collaborations. You know, like the Mega Powers. You gotta love it when 2 random things come together. This is one where
Angela
it's
White and Hitomi Tanaka. You know, two rights making a double right.
But is this one anyone was asking for?
That's why it's so random. Like my biggest thing was like, why? It's like one niche console that no one bought and another niche console that no one bought, having a baby to be more niche of nothing.
I still think
like no one's gonna go buy a fucking VCS because it's like, who are the Polymega apps on there? Like no one cares.
But I feel like that the people who did buy between these 2 consoles, the VCS owners win. Because now they're just getting more emulation for free, essentially. Whereas you still have to shell out. And how much were those modules going for?
Oh, they were a fuckload. They were like $90 a piece at least.
Yeah. Now, and the
And the
modules,
base console was like $250, $350. I forget. It was something expensive.
so the module will add Atari 2600 and Atari 7800. Like,
Yeah.
listen, I know there's collectors for everything. Do you think there's a lot of 7800 collectors out there?
The 7800 only had like 60 games for it, too.
So even more. So it's kind of like, I don't know. That seems a little nutty, but you know what? I'm for it. If the Polymega keeps teaming up with folks, keep getting more modules. Like, do Intellivision, TurboGrafx. Like, just do all the modules.
Maybe you can try to go on a real console, too, that someone will actually use.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself. What do you think
I'll
about
do that
Jim?
later. Gotta sleep somehow.
God damn it, Jim.
Maybe I'll play some Divine Ceiling, and you can find out why for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame.
Well, Jim, speaking of that game and pulling out, Sega is pulling out.
I hate that I don't hate this transition.
You see what I did there?
Ask
So, Sega, we actually covered, there's a lot of game companies out there who have been dipping their toes in the crypto and blockchain, but now Sega is fully pulling out from blockchain gaming as everyone's calling it, the crypto winter persists. That was such a goddamn obvious bubble, in my opinion, that some companies jumped on right away, went balls deep into it, just like buying AMC stock a little too high. And not saying that anyone here would do that.
I was not an AMC boy, but I was a crypto boy, and that fucked me worse.
Yeah. So, Chambers, Sega's seems to be one of the first biggest ones to pull out of this idea.
Yeah.
How many do you think are going to follow?
Because, like, the biggest ones who were, like, very all about it were, like, Ubisoft, Sega, Square Enix, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I think there was a few other small ones, but yeah, those were the three biggies.
Yeah, and Square Enix, I think, is still really into the idea. Ubisoft, I think, is still trying to push their, like, proprietary shitcoin kind of idea. And Sega's just going, yeah, I don't think we're doing this anymore. So, I guess kudos to... I'm actually, apparently now the fucking article is paywalled by Bloomberg, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere else. But, I mean, I guess kudos to Sega for doing that. And also, Sega's not really in the position to be making people have faith in them to buy a shit coin to fucking have game content.
Well, it's just Sega's the king of bad ideas and bad decisions, I feel like. And that was just like, why don't we just keep following this path down? Like most technologies.
Look, let's put it this way. If even Sega can see the writing on the wall that this is not viable, it's time. Time to give it up.
You know what it is, Jim? It's kind of like in Batman Begins. And in Wayne Industries, they had Lucius Fox at the bottom, kind of just as a shadow department. But then when shit actually was needed, he could manufacture it. So all these, if somehow blockchain crypto truly takes off and it starts doing it, I do think most of these big companies should have something really low level being worked on just in case it pops off. But the way some of them dove into it was just like, you're getting a little ahead of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like, and we're not talking like Sony, like, making a whole VR headset no one wants or buys to keep your foot in the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can make some dumb fucking NFTs and just be like, oh, hey, we're still around with this shit. And, like, not fully push it or implement it into games and crap, but yeah, even fucking Sega. Wow.
They're like,
even them going, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like they have the most hardcore of fan bases that will buy any bullcrap you put in front of them. You make some Sonic NFTs, those Sonic NFTs would sell. Even they said no.
Yeah. I mean, I hope the writing's on the wall for folks. I mean, crypto's a cute idea. Got some people rich, lost most people money. But, with the gaming shit, we already hate microtransactions. We hate DLCs. We don't need to add another layer of financial bullshit to just complicate what should be just a form of escapism. Sometimes people like Jim just want a game they can fap to. That's all they need.
Simple man. Simple man with simple needs, Brian.
God damn.
Hey, look, Brian, I can sit here and crap on the Sonic community all I want, but I need to go and crap on the fighting game community. Mm-hmm. So this is actually a little bit of an older story, but it was just posted in the Discord. And you know what? Brian, we're starting a new segment. We have gamers mad all the time. Today's gamers glad. Can't be negative all the goddamn time, Brian. Because this is a feel-good story if I've ever fucking seen one. So, last year, 31-year-old dad with 2 full-time jobs and limited practice beats pro Tekken god. So, this is Joshua Bianchi, who's from Italy. His gamer tag is Gerlanda. I guess that's how you say it. So, he made it to the top 8 of the Tekken World Tour Global Finals in 2022. And to get there, he went through like a murderer's row of former EVO champions and top-ranked Tekken players and like reigning Tekken World Championship champions and shit like that. And he got like had to do this in a round robin, and he made it to the top 8. As a guy who works 2 jobs, is a dad, and only plays like when he has the time to. He doesn't sit there like the rest of the fighting game community, like autistically learning split-second pixel-perfect like timing and decisions and combos. Just a guy. Just a real ham and egger, Brian. Doing it for the common man.
Well, Chambers, this is a good story. Let me start with that. First problem I have.
He didn't win?
No.
Gonna shit on Brian?
No.
Gonna shit on the poor Itai? Poor little Dago?
You can't have...
Pasta marinara? Can't have it all?
You can't have 2 full-time jobs. And you know what? As someone who's worked with a lot of people who have worked overseas in Italy, to them a full-time job is like, I spend 6 hours doing something. And then I nap a lot. And then... So...
What? He makes his pizza in one shop, takes a nap, and makes his pizza in another shop. That's how you do, Brian.
But it is a heartwarming story. It is one of those deals where esports is in an interesting spot, and I know it's been around long enough, but just like any sport, I think there is an idea you can get in your opponent's heads. And these guys that first guy that took a L to this dude probably set the tone for the other ones. Like, am I really going to lose to a dude who doesn't do this full time? And they kind of get in their own head, and it really can fuck you up. Like in sports, that's why shit talking can be very effective. If you get in the opponent's head, you fold under pressure all the time. That's why you don't win Tetris 99.
I can't argue that right now.
And this guy, he's going there. He's got absolutely nothing to lose. He's the Rocky story, if you will. He just wants to show that he can contend. And that's really what it is. Everyone loves an underdog story. He's got a family. He's got these jobs. And he kicked these guys' asses. I'll be honest, every time I've ever decided to try to watch competitive fighting games, I don't think I've ever seen a person that I actually like. Like, they all have a very antisocial, like... I don't know. There's an attitude I don't like there. So
I can't stand esports players. I can't stand any of them. I can't sit through the competitions. Like, it's just like that. It's just that level of like turbo nerd that even I look at and I just go, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. So that goes to my question, to your point. Like, all right, so this is a guy. Yeah, he's. Is it just that he's probably that good at reaction times, or is he just in such a flow state that he just hit that perfect moment of like hitting these guys' weaknesses? Like, what do you think it really is? You could just say he's just good and whatever, but I do always say there is a level of luck to these things too, right?
Oh, I mean, like any sports, like you can be like pretty good at what you do, good enough to be at the pro level, and it's like sports here. You can get hot at the right time, and you can ride that wave really fucking far.
Like Big Dick Nick.
Like Big Dick Nick. Fucking taking out Tom Brady in the fucking Super Bowl. Even the Phillies last year, like they were not a World Series team, but they made it to the World Series because they got super fucking hot at the right time. So, you know what?
They really shouldn't have been there, but you know what?
During the course of the season, you never would have thought they would have made it there. They barely made the playoffs, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Yep.
Looked like world beaters until it all came crashing down.
Until,
but regardless of that.
I mean, yeah. But I love stories like this. I think it is interesting. I guess here's my question. Because the people who train for these things, like you said, that micro level of nerdism, and they're so obsessed, I bet if you put them on a random day against someone who's a little more casual, flow state, like is good, like this guy, they might get beat more often than you think. Like it's like putting anyone there are certain specialties that there is no chance of this ever happening, but in a video game, in a sports situation, everyone can have a bad day. And that's why I said, being that last guy that they have in here that he beat, like in his mind, he's like, this guy should not just beat two of the world's greatest goddamn players. What the fuck? So there's definitely probably a little bit of a panic in his mind, versus when you're always playing the top, you're coming in there with a different mentality. It's like how dudes get knocked out all the time in MMA. They're not taking the opponent that serious, and then they're like, oh shit, he just hit me. What the fuck is it? Like, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, I do like the story. It's a positive note, Chambers.
Yeah, it's not even like, what do you call it? Like when DSP like made it to like the top of Evo that one year with the PlayStation only port of like Super Turbo or some shit like that, and DSP became DSP. It's just like nice wholesome man. You haven't heard anything since about him being bad or anything like that?
Who's DSP? I know.
Darkside Phil.
Which one was he who had his moment that I hate?
I mean, his most infamous moment is him forgetting to turn off his camera to start beating off after a stream.
You've told me this so many times. That's why when you said that, I was like, all right, which one is this one?
I'm so glad that you know the name just enough. You're like, I know it from somewhere. I know it's something bad.
It wasn't completely foreign to me. I just didn't know which one this was. I don't ever want to see that, but is there any chance that it wasn't real?
No.
Oh, God damn it.
No, it was real.
Have you seen it?
It's Darkside Phil, Brian. He's been a locale for 16 years and running.
Listen, I'm never there's not any interest in me actually watching that clip. But like,
I mean, you don't see anything. You just see his head go. It's so fucking funny.
God damn it, Jim.
Right. You know what? This is why I don't live stream. When you're on the crusty corner, you can't take these risks.
Or maybe you should. You tell me.
I could use it. No, I don't. No, I don't need that notoriety.
Jim, I mean, do you want that new Vectrex or not?
When you're right, you're right.
All right, Chambers, here's my question. If there's one tournament, and let's just throw out, I mean, it's got to be a competitive game. But if there's one tournament that, not saying you could win right now, but if you could choose that you actually would want to go on like this guy and win, what would you pick?
It would have to be something like stupidly niche that like I've been playing my entire life.
No. Not saying something you could. I'm saying like pick anything. It could be literally any fighting game, a MOBA, like something that you would love to just right now be like, yeah, I won the world tournament and blah.
Oh, you know what? Like I would love to do it with fucking, if I could have like been good enough to do it in StarCraft 2. Like I just never had the APM at all developed in order to like be somewhat competitive like that, but like, I think it would have been so fun to be in that, like, kind of thing.
To win. So that would be the one you'd want to say. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, that was probably the most competitive online I ever got in, like, a ranked online competitive system. And even then, I think at my best, I was maybe very low Diamond League, if that. Which is like mid-range, I guess.
Yeah. But, Jim, that's your training goal now. Be like this guy. You don't have to train all the time. You got your job. You got to do your house. You're basically the same story, Jim.
Yeah. Well, and like StarCraft 2 is very much out of its heyday, but then I have to go against Koreans.
This is what this guy did. The Korean was the first guy he beat.
It is true.
I'm just saying, Jim.
I got to be the StarCraft Rocky. I guess that's what I got to do.
Just saying. Remember Pearl Harbor. Just saying.
I mean, it's not the right country, though, Brian. I mean, I was going to make the joke.
I know, but I know you don't know
dark
that.
Guys.
JC, I was for sure going to think you were about to say Tetris 99.
No, Brian, I think there's enough empirical evidence to say that I should Never go into a competition.
But wouldn't your Cinderella story be if somehow they teamed up like the 99 best players in the world and you won that?
Oh, yeah, that'd be the ultimate Cinderella story. Knowing my dumbass, though, like, I would enter that, somehow win miraculously, and then, like, take a heart attack on stage and not even get to enjoy it. Or the guy that, like, is, like, I'm stuck in, like, first place with, like, battling for first, he takes a heart attack, and then I can't even enjoy the goddamn win because it's, like, a technicality that I won. That'd be more my luck.
Oh, I love, like, the little technicalities or bullshit that happens at these competitive, like, a guy, like, accidentally paused during a fighting game, and it, like, caused this big rift. Like, there's all these, like, little rules that, like, I will never know about, but I love watching. It's like top controversies in the Evo tournament. Like, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you're just like, well, does anybody care? But, like, then you realize, like, that level of fucking intensity for these stupid-ass goddamn games.
And they're there. But you know what? Let's raise our glasses to that, man. Good job. Being a dad, not having the time to do it. I salute you. Good job.
You know what, Spaghetti Gabagool? Good for you.
God damn it, Joe. He makes me want to rewatch King of Kong. Fistful of Quarters. Steve Wiebe. The man's man.
Steve Wiebe is a man's man.
Goddamn Billy Mitchell.
That fucking guy. I gotta check in. I think there's been, like, a bunch of updates between him and, like, Sue and, like, Carl Jobst and shit like that. And everyone who talks shit about him. Why doesn't he notice us? He can use notoriety.
We haven't hated on him quite enough, Chambers.
Right, I hear he's more of a cuck than Adam 22, so we can start spreading that rumor.
God damn it. You know, I found out who that, like, every once in a while, the shit that comes across me, I'm like, who is Adam 22? Then I click, and I immediately regret. I'm like, why? There are so many questions with that.
He's having the worst cope I've ever seen, where now he just responds to everything, and like Elon, like, calling Zuckerberg a cuck, and he's like, oh, what's wrong with that? It's like, shut up. You're not going to own this.
Well, he's definitely trying way too hard.
He's trying way too hard to own it and be like, it doesn't affect me.
At the end of the day, anyone willing to do that, you got mental issues. Like, it's that simple. That's not a thing you do.
I'm giving it a year. Divorce in a year. Because he was saying on his show, he was like, no, I was saying, like, basically, like, this could just be the one time. It's like, nah, you let it happen once. That ain't going to be the only time.
I mean,
it ain't going to be the only time at all.
I didn't know who he was, and then I figured out he's on this thing, No Jumper. Like, so do you think he clearly probably makes some money, right?
Oh, no. No Jumper is huge. The network's huge. He's also had his fair share of controversies. Everyone's saying this might be a cover-up for him maybe trying to bang on a 16-year-old or something like that, so...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, so he seems like a real stand-up dude.
Yeah, definitely. So you know what? Go let your wife get dick down. Who cares? I don't feel bad. I think it's funny. God, I hope she fucks Boogie. Oh, God, do I hope she fucks Boogie.
God damn it, Jim.
I don't even... Celebrity boxing. Fuck celebrity boxing.
Dude, that Boogie... Who did he fight again?
Oh, Wings of Redemption.
God damn it, that thing was... They're just throwing it out there for everyone, aren't they?
I mean, that's the low-cal showdown of the lifetime, Brian.
God.
And I mean, even in Boogie's credit, he's like, man, I just got in enough shape to be able to stand up for that long. I didn't do any training to fight. I got my 10 grand. And I was like, you know what? I respect that.
There are some people I wouldn't mind going and doing that against. You know who.
Pat Contry, if you're out there, fight Brian.
He never would. Are you kidding me? Shit his pants.
Oop. One's thrown down.
James, and I think there's people I think you should go against. Y'all stay tuned for next episode when we call out Jim's opponents.
I don't know. I'm so lovable. I love everybody. I'm loved by all.
With that, Chambers.
Except for the thousands of accounts that block me.
With that, Chambers, how was that beer? How did it treat you?
You know what? It is pretty goddamn good. For like a hazy, you know, Brian, it was the dank strawberry. I gotta say, the dank strawberry came through.
All right, you're my first opponent.
But no, I mean, like, it kind of just tasted like a hazy IPA, very citrusy, but it's one of those ones that like had a good enough flavor where it really wasn't hoppy at all, but it wasn't like overly citrusy either, where it was like astringent and shit like that. Like, it had a very good balance to it. So,
Nice.
like, I know, like, for a lot of these hazy IPAs or Imperials, I go, if you've had one, you've had them all. But I'll definitely say that this is probably on, like, one of the higher ends.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice to find a little bit of a unique something out there in the land of a million IPAs. The Medieval Wit. I can't recommend this enough. If you're lucky enough and you find it somewhere near you, give it a try. It is perfect for summer, even if it's hot out. The beer is not going to sit heavy. It doesn't, like, it just leaves that nice, like I said, little bit of citrusy orange flavor, and it just, it's a perfect summer beer. So while there is a month or two left, get your hands on it if you can. So with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already hit the notification subscription, please do that. And if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, please hit subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, and if you want to leave us a comment, we will respond on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.